Hi everybody, welcome back for video 6 for Guitar Class 102. Today's going to be a short video. Since I missed last week, I want to spend some time again reviewing today the low E string and the bass notes. Also probably we'll take a look and walk up the A and E string, just concentrating on the natural notes. And I'll have a exercise next week, a scale next week, on the A and E string alone. That's not a chromatic scale. It'll be a either A minor or E minor, so you can target all the natural notes or most of the natural notes all the way up the A and D string. So real quick, just to review, alright, the low E string, alright, we have your open low E. This is the note that's 3 lines below the staff, alright, your open E. Alright, you have F on the first fret with your first finger. That's going to be on the first line of the staff. And then you have G, which is your 3rd fret, 3rd finger. Okay, open A, alright, is your 5th string open. B will be on the 2nd fret with your 2nd finger. And then C is the 3rd fret, 3rd finger right next to it. Remember, B and C, also E and F will always be right next to each other. Going to the D string, it's the 4th string open. You have E on the 2nd fret with your 2nd finger. And again, right next to it, you have F with your 3rd finger. A great exercise would be just to play these notes by themselves and recite them out loud. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then backwards. Okay, so new stuff I want to cover today is going to be the 12-bar blues progression. The 12-bar blues progression is something that everyone has to have heard at least one time in their life. Most rock songs and of course blues songs are going to be based off of a 12-bar blues progression. It is a certain pattern of 3 chords that we have in various different keys. For guitar, the most common are going to be the key of E, the key of A, key of D, things like that. In this case, I'm showing you a 12-bar blues progression in the key of A, starting on an A7 chord, and then the D7 chord, and then the E7 chord. Alright? It's a 3-chord pattern, alright, and it's a consistent pattern that doesn't change. There's different variations of the 12-bar blues, but once you have that variation, the variation should stay as it is for the song. Alright, your first chord is going to be the A7 chord, and if you notice, we have this for 4 measures. The second chord we go to is the D7 chord that we go to for 2 measures. Then we go back to A7 for 2 measures, then E7 for 1 measure, and then D7, A7, and E7 for the repeat. This pattern would repeat multiple times until the song is over, alright? Usually resulting in a 1st, 2nd, or even 3rd or 4th ending. Okay? So again, just to review those chords, they're pretty basic chords to start playing. The A7 chord, I suggest that you use your 2nd and 3rd finger for this, your 2nd finger on E, and then your 3rd finger on C sharp with the open G in between. I recommend this because when you go to the D7 chord, all you have to do is move those 2 fingers down to A and F sharp, and your 1st finger grabs C on the 1st fret. Alright? Then you're back to A7. Just move your 2nd and 3rd finger up 1 string. For the E7, you move your 2nd finger up 1 string and add your 1st finger to G sharp. That's going to be the 1st fret G string. There you go. So, all together, it'll sound something like this. I'll just play straight quarter notes, and we'll vary the rhythm in class today. So A7, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, then D7, 2nd time, back to A7. again, this is just one variation of a 12-bar blues. There are a couple different ways of doing it. It can be done in minor keys. It can be done strictly by playing a riffs, which I'll demonstrate in a minute. And again, we can have these in different keys. So if you're transposing this to a different key, your first chord wouldn't be an A7. For example, if we were going to do a 12-bar blues in E, all right, our first chord would be an E7. Okay, our next chord would be the A7. All right, and then our turnaround chord would be the B7. But I don't want to get too theoretical with you for right now. Just concentrate on the 12-bar blues pattern. Try and get that pattern in your ear because you do come across it quite often. Okay, so going along with this, I wrote out a 12-bar blues riff in the key of A. Alright, each measure is going to be based off of the chord that is being played, in this case A7, D7, or E7. Alright, the riff itself starts with your power chords that we talked about last week. Alright, starts with an A power chord, which is your open A and your E on the 2nd fret, twice. Okay, and then what you do after that is that your 3rd finger is going to reach across to the 4th fret on the same finger as your 1st finger. You want to leave that previous finger down. Notice I didn't pick it up. And play the A string and D string together again. This is called a 6th chord. This would be considered an A6 because you're adding the 6th note of the A scale to the root. So it goes from A5 to A6. Okay? When the harmony changes to the D7, alright, we're going to start again with that D7 power chord, the open D and the A on the G string, alright, and pair that with the 4th fret note on your G string. So you got okay, from there we go back to the A. Okay, the E7 will be the E power chord paired with the C sharp on the 4th fret. Okay, so all together. Second measure. 3rd. 4th. To the D. Back to A. E7, D, A, E. Then you can go ahead and repeat. This is a very familiar pattern that I think everyone's heard. Again, there's different variations of this. I played this with a very straight rhythm. Okay, typically when you're playing a blues riff like this, you're going to be playing what's called a shuffle rhythm or a swing rhythm, swinging 8th notes. So instead of playing it straight, it'd be it's straight like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And a shuffle rhythm would kind of go like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay, kind of a little bit of a bounce to it. You're holding the first note a little longer and you're making the second note a little shorter. That takes practice, and we'll go over that in class today. Alright, different variations of this. If you're feeling pretty confident with your 1st and 3rd finger, alright, you can add your 4th finger to this riff. Okay. Again, as you go, leave your fingers down. Don't pick them up as you go. You want to let your fingers kind of stretch out so you can gain some finger independence and help with your dexterity. All right. Make sure that your thumb is in line with your middle finger. Okay. All right. We're in 2nd position here. See, we're over the 2nd fret. So make sure that your thumb is slid over too. Don't leave it hanging out over here like we're in 1st position, because we're in 2nd position now. So the variation of this would be kind of like this. Okay. Sorry about that, kind of lost my train of thought. But you get the idea. That's really good. Only after you're pretty good with your first and third finger, then you can start to add the fourth finger in. It's a great little exercise, especially because you're working the third and fourth finger right next to each other, like that. Alright, this is actually pretty close to a Led Zeppelin tune called Rock and Roll. I'll play that riff, and you'll actually see how similar it is, I hope. I'll play it real slow. You can see how close that's related to. Alright, not that we're going to be playing Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin today, but I just want to show you how useful this kind of riff is and what it can get you into once you get pretty confident with it. Okay, so that's all I want to cover for today. Again, the fourth finger version of the 12-bar blues, you only do it if you feel confident with it, if you feel confident with your first and third. Make sure that you're changing the chords at the right time, and just have fun with it. I'll see you in class later tonight. Bye-bye.